Hello, welcome back to kottefolket game devlog. Let's see, it's been a little break here. We're in the middle of implementing the player behavior system here in or refactoring it a little bit. And yeah, I think implement combo attack. I think this was where we left off, yes. So let's see if I can start this up here. Let's see where we are. Right, so we do have attack. We should have attack while walking as well. So, but that's easy to fix though. Just go to state machine, add this behavior to walk state as well. What's the whole thing about the charge? If the charge was gonna be like a I think that we should be able to move while attacking as well. Maybe. I don't know actually. Can I stand still while attacking? I mean, that might be a way to do it. But yeah, we can attack while walking. Excuse me. Jumping, standing still, yeah. Not while climbing though. Makes sense. Hello Blue, welcome back. How's it going? So yeah, but we also had the combo attack. Oh my god. Man. And the question was like, how do we actually implement that? Do we incorporate it into the attack behavior function? That is the question. Oh my god. Man, sorry, apparently I'm super tired. Maybe we'll just do a short one today. But I would like to get to the combo attack this, because after that I believe there's not much left. Did I have a to-do list somewhere for, come on, players. Oh yeah, did we fix this actually? I don't remember if we fixed the steering wheel. I think we did actually. Where is that? Right, this one. Yeah, I think this one was fixed. Yeah, and you can cancel and stuff. Yeah, okay. Cool. So I don't think we need to worry about that. Pending damage, that's right. That was also a thing. And then we have the combo attack. So okay. So the thing about the combo attack, it's supposed to be happening when you attack. Then you have like a window of time where you can attack again, and you do like the next attack in the combo, which right now is only a very simple 1-2 combo. Like it's only 2 attacks in the combo, so it basically slashing back and slashing forth is the thing. So I think that we probably want to have some kind of more advanced system for it, probably later. But for now, I just want to make it work, and we'll figure out what the system could be. Hello, Arzad Sami, what's up? Am I saying that? Excuse me. Am I saying that correctly, by the way? It's taking but on. Right. I think my initial thought was that this was only gonna be called if we don't currently are gonna make a combo attack, but I think it's probably better if this is like incorporated into this function. So then we need to get some other stuff in here. Now the combo attack behavior, I mean, we could just re-implement it, or we could look at how it was done before. Which was happening at some point here. Maybe not here, I'm not sure. Okay, let's look at, I mean, we could try to re-implement it first. Let's see. Because I remember it was dependent on some state that was... So essentially, we could do this. We could go to here. We could add like maybe like combo attack state. This is probably gonna change later, but I just want to have something here. And oops. The combo attack state. So we could make it into a unit item. We could make it... I'm just gonna do very simple here now. So combo ends at, so there's gonna be a timestamp that determines the window of time where you can do the combo if you attack again. I guess that's it, what we need right now. So essentially, when we go into attack state, we set that we could check what the attack type is. Well, this is the normal attack. Yeah, this is the normal attack. So this will always be the normal attack. So what we do is we get the state and we set the combo attack state to be combo ends at, and then we have some kind of time there. So I'm gonna go to input. Yes, it was correct. Okay, thank you, RZ Sammy. So we have the combo somewhere. This is not the, this is another thing, which happens to be called combo as well. Where is the thing? Oh yeah, we have the mist as well. I forgot about that. Well, that's probably pretty simple to actually implement. And use item input. I forgot about that as well. Where is the attack stuff? Here we go. So here is, I think here is like the combo thing. If the state is attack, we attack again, and the last attack type was normal, and we're inside the combo window, then I see. It's not really like a timer. It's more like you can attack while at, like in the attack state. To like shortcut the attack and then do a combo the next attack. I see. And this is how we calculate that. Okay. I'll just copy this part, put it, well, we need the timing here. However, essentially, like, you attack, if we go out of the attack state, we don't actually need then this combo attack state. It's simply a side effect of being in the attack state that we can do a combo attack if we attack again. So we should actually just add the combo attack behavior here. Because I was thinking that the combo attack is spilling over into the idle state if the timing like was extending over the attack, but no. That's the thing also, like you probably want to have like a charge, like you press attack, then you press and hold again attack. You probably want to start a charge at that point, but we'll do this. Yeah, well, this will be combo. Combo attack. Oh yeah, charge start, that's right, charge start goes into attack state if we end it. This is becoming a little bit hairy here, actually. I'm not quite sure if this is the like a good way of doing things. Because it's like the chart, this state here is like sort of meta here. It's like it's like handling actually going into attack as well. So but and then it has to know, okay, do we actually go into attack or do we go into combo attack? Because yeah, that's the thing. So it's like either we could change this to be not a state, maybe more like data based instead, perhaps. So it's like the state is gonna be more like charging. No. Hang on. Oh yeah, this is charging. And this is when you have full charge. And then this is actually executing the charge. So this is just attacking with the charge attack. Because the thing is, like, the charging thing, it also plays into this here, where you can, if you want to be able to climb at the same time as charging, we're gonna have to have the charging be a separate, like a data-based state instead of the main state being changed. Problem there though is then all states need to kind of handle the charge thing. Hello, Penguin. What's up, what's up? Okay, let's just continue with what we have for now. And you know what? I'll just not think about the charge thing for now and try to just implement this in the normal attack. So what we'll do is we will say, I'll remove this here. So now charge is basically disabled for our experiment here, and so attack will go into attack, and then and this will set the combo attack state. However, I think we don't really need that. Probably. But let's take it anyway. And then essentially here we need to have combo attack behavior. Oops, caps lock. And actually we should probably return here or have an else here. Okay. So switch on event, we will get, well, let's import this first. No. And we can get a combo attack, which means we should change into attack combo. I'll just prefix it with attack instead of having combo attack. It's a little bit, I don't know. I'm deciding these things on the fly here. And then we also have charge starters here as well, which just goes into attack charge start. That should actually just clear. Actually, yeah, that should just clear the combo. However, it shouldn't clear the combo if we're in the window. Yeah, okay. So if we're in the window, we should have like we should have here, if this is released, and then we have a branch here and say if, well, we need to get the state. If state combo attack, if we have a combo attack state, and if timer expired, combo ends at, then we will go into combo attack state instead. Okay, so now we need to have the combo attack. Let's just copy the attack, do combo attack, and this will be combo. I don't remember what this was called now. Probably don't even attack underscore combo. Okay. Actually, this is attack combo as well. And create an attack. I think it was called, oh, it should be called underscore with underscore. There we go. Okay, and then we set this to null because the combo has ended. This, well, okay, yeah, that's fine because it's just a timer there. Update. Right, so the attack, I mean, yeah, it should have the same behavior as attack, except we don't really care for the combo attack anymore. Instead, we just wait for it to end, and there we go. Okay. And I should have this else if thing for all of the states, I believe. Yeah, this, like, because, well, actually, rather, if we are dead, we should just return. That's probably what we want as well, is that. We don't really want to change, like you want, because the thing is, like, if we're dead, it automatically goes into the dead state. But here we have a chance to change the state again. So we're kind of going out of the dead state into idle state, which we don't want. So we just return there. So we'll do that instead. So everywhere where we say dead, we should return to not have that happen. Which is for all of these states. Was that it? Here. A little bit of copying here, but it's like you know, a trade-off. We have to call this everywhere, but at least, you know, we only have to call this function. But you know, the good thing about this is that when you go into a state, you can see exactly what is happening in that state, which I really like. So yeah, there's no confusion about what a state is doing, which could easily happen if you if I had this in the old system where it's everything is like in one function, one update function basically. One second here. Goddamn these spammers. Goodbye. There's been more of those lately. All right. So, we should now, so during the attack, we go into combo attack state. If we attack again, yeah. And yeah. And also it should work, I think, in charge now as well, because we check here if we have the timer for combo attack still, then we do the attack combo there. Yeah, so that should be good. Okay, so now let's go. Well, we could try the normal way first, and then we could try with charge enabled as well. So there you go, there's the combo. I feel like that's pretty strange. Like if I attack, oh, excuse me. That's not great. So we don't go. Okay, that's why it was doing this weird thing. It was actually going into charge state, even though we didn't have charge. Oh, because I copied that earlier. There we go. That's what happens when you copy paste. You get a bunch of places, things look the same, and you forgot to change one place, and you get these weird things happening. There we go. So you can do like a very quick now thing, which I don't want to kind of have. Is like you can spam it to get the combo. I basically want it to be a little bit of delay so that you can't like combo immediately. You have to wait for a little bit in order to press the combo attack to get like a timing window there. Which I believe we did have that in the old system, but I don't remember exactly how that was. In combo time window. Oh, I see. We're calculating the start time based on the animation thing here. So you have to be like on the last frame, I guess, to be able to do it. No, that's not correct. Is it C animation container? There we go. Okay, sure. This is, yeah, the animation name here is a little bit frail, but because, yeah, the definitions, we have it in another place. We could get those though from animation here. Animations. Now we could get, so this would be the normal attack for the player. So attack player. So there we go. And now we have the duration. Last frame. Oh, and here's like the start time for the state, I guess. Do we have that here? Oh, we do actually. Get straight started at. And well, that is to say if we have state duration. I'm pretty sure we should, because yeah, that is something that should be there. Let's see. We're setting this here, so this definitely adds it. If it's not there, get or add. But is it happening after that? I think so. Yeah, because it's happening in the update and not in the, yeah. Okay. So we have the start time. And now we can simply return this. So if start time has expired, this should be true. Yeah. Now there's no end time here, but this function won't be called from the idle state anyway. So that doesn't matter right now. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to say here if we're in the combo attack time window, then we do the combo attack. Otherwise we don't. But we do make a charge start. Let's actually make this public because we might want to have it over here as well. Okay, well let's test this out now because we don't have charge. So what? Expected animations, enum found fill, enum struct. Man, I thought that would be the same thing. We could probably wait, what are you expecting? Enum? So that's a generated enum. From here. It's this enum here, which is not then being made public, although is it public over here? No, I don't think so. We could make it public here though. We could just expose a tag declaration there, which we then could just say instead of doing all like field enum here, we can just say dot tag, I believe. No wait, not animations. It's gonna be just container dot tag. There we go. And now if I spam attack, it's not doing like, it's not doing 2 attacks. But if I press it in the correct window, we do a combo attack. If I do too late, we do a normal attack. So now there's a specific window to do the combo there. Cool. Okay, so now, oops. Let's go back here. And now let's try the charge thing. I'm just gonna make a convenience function here. Can charge. which simply returns this, but now we can replace both of these places, and we can say now we have a one place that we can change to or true. I'm glad that Zig doesn't have like a compilation error here, because it's like, oh, it's always true. It's nice if we could have like a warning here that you have like an or true here, because it will always be true. But whatever. So now we have the charge attack enabled, and we can test that out. So if it's kind of weird, like I can do like a normal attack. Also the combo window seems to be a bit messy. So the normal thing seems to work, but now we seem to be able to like do the multi attack as well pretty quickly. Huh. It seems to always do the combo attack. Right, because there's no... Wait. Was there an ending window for that here? Charge start. Yeah, we're checking if it expired, so I'm not sure. Yeah, it doesn't matter how long I wait, it seems. It always... No, wait. If it has expired, then we do a combo attack. If it hasn't expired, then we do a combo attack. Okay. Classic Boolean algebra error there. It's actually kind of fascinating to me, like most those kinds of blunders just feel different. Like when you do that kind of blunder, it's just like, of course it's the other way around, but then when you try to like figure it out, it always seems to be so difficult sometimes, especially when you have like multiple negatives. And I think that's why some people have like rules to name like variables, to try to avoid naming variables like is not something something, and instead try to always name things is something. So like to not have it like double negatives and all that, because it's something in our brains that makes it like difficult. Okay, but now we can still spam here because of the we don't check the timing window. So we should also do that. Which should be in here. I feel like this attack, the attack feature here is quite fragmented right now, but I'm having trouble finding this window now. Also, I can kind of spam the attack. That's not great. That's what's because we're in the attack state and we're doing a charge start. Yeah, okay. Because the idea is that you would be able to start a charge immediately after attacking, but we also have to kind of check, okay, what's the cooldown on the attack, I guess, as well then. So you don't, or so you're not able to like spam it like that. Huh. This makes me almost think about having some kind of generic system for like some kind of system for checking, like, can we go into a state depending on some predicate. I'm not sure about that though, because that's like sort of built into these like else ifs here, but it could also be some, I mean, yeah, it depends on if we could get a lot out of it. But essentially we don't want to go into attack state from here. No, from here. Unless the previous attack should have, like, yeah, the cooldown is up. So let's add another thing here. Attack, can attack at. And we'll say if has or is timer expired. Can attack at, then we attack. Otherwise we don't do anything. Yeah, then it's just gonna fizzle out actually. Actually, if it's released, yeah, if it's fizzling out, we should actually just return to the idle state then. Okay. I feel like I'm missing something else, but let's go in and see. How this works now. I can still spam it. Oh, because I never actually set the thing. So I need to set the cooldown here. There we go. Okay. Right, and this is another reason why we probably want the charge not to be one of these main states, but actually maybe charge full is gonna be like a main state, but not like this actual beginning of the charge, because it aborts. Yeah, it like aborts the animation here. Or I mean, another way would be to kind of separate the attack animation is like spawned. I don't know. Like separately. But that would look weird when you attack and you don't move the weapon, but the attack still like happens. I don't know. Yeah, I would probably want the attack animation to play out and then enter charge like mode. Yeah, that it's probably better if charge is actually a database thing, like here. So we have like charge state or something, and it's gonna be handled from all the different states that could like allow it. Yeah. Yeah, also duck should have attack behavior. Let's see. There we go. So now we should be able to attack while ducking as well. Except we don't do like a duck attack, we do a normal, we stand up to attack. Yeah. Another thing is like when you have charge, there's like a slight delay to actually attacking. Which also when we jump, should we actually... you can't jump while attacking either. So while attacking, you can't actually move. It's kind of like being stunned almost. You can't even change direction. I'm not sure if that's how I want it to be. It feels a little bit too rigid. Because that's not how it was before, I don't think. You could basically move around and jump and attack at the same time. Also, we don't do any damage. What the hell? We are creating the attack. Is it because we removed check pending damage here? No, that's just for the player. I'll enable this so we can see the attack hitbox. Okay, we can see that there is a very quick attack hitbox being made there. It should be longer though. It should be... I mean, it should be a longer duration. Is this the duration or the time? Destroy at duration. No. So this should be create time. There we go. So it was like, I think it probably was like destroyed before we could even register the damage there. There we go. Also, I'm not sure. The combos doesn't seem to work anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I have to figure that out. Okay, let's see if the damage works now. Oh, you don't actually have any sound there. Sorry about that. There we go. The lovely sounds that I made here. Okay. Cool. Actually, guys, I don't actually have a, what's it called? Attack sound. Is that really the case? No, I do have a player attack sound. Maybe I just forgot to play it. Yeah, it should just be played here, really. Maybe create attack, or maybe just here we play. Yeah. Attack, we have the combo, the charge. Wait, no, that's not. Charge execute. Here we go. So have a consistent order here. Cool. There we go. Trying to get the combo to work. Let's disable the charge attack, see if the combo actually works normally. Okay, that works. It's fairly quick. It is fairly quick. The charge stack makes it look weird though, because of it's like canceling the normal attack animation. So it feels different. Also, it's like there's a slight delay to the attack since we have charge and we have to wait until we know that the player doesn't want to actually start a start a charge or start like a normal attack. I think some games do it like if you have that same system where the attack button is also the charge button, so you press attack to start a charge, you actually just do a normal attack immediately as well. You do a normal attack and start the charge at the same time, because then you still get like immediate attack, but you also have the option to start a charge as well. I think that's probably maybe better. I guess it depends on if your game, it depends on like how important is it to not create a normal attack when you want to start a charge. Like, you don't want to attack, essentially. You want to be able to avoid attacking. Then it would make sense not to do that. But I think for this game it's probably just a bonus, considered to be a bonus, that you actually do just a normal attack as well. So probably we want to go that route. And that also, again, speaks to that the charge state should be a separate, like it should be like a data-based state and not a behavior tree state. So yeah, I'm gonna add a to-do here. That is what's going to happen. So convert charging into data-based state in player state. Also, I'm not sure why the combo thing doesn't work or it seemed to work at one point, but it was very finicky. So if the combo end set has not expired and we are in the attack time window. Oh, wait. Okay. No, wait. This is for this specific animation, right? It's not like the current animation that we're currently in. Hello, XLR8 Zenon, what's up? I'm just gonna BRB for a minute or two here. Sorry about that, be right back. All right, I'm back. Have you added coyote time and jump buffer? I don't actually know what that is. Okay, so jump buffer is that like this that I'm gonna show here. Because there is I added like if you jump and you press, so if you jump and you like jump again, but you press the jump button, you don't have to wait until you've landed to be able to press the jump button. You can hold the jump button before you land. Like if you just press and hold jump, it will just jump once, right? But if you press jump and then press again, it will jump immediately when landing. Is that what you mean by jump buffer? Yeah. But you can't just hold jump to jump like immediately. You have to press again. But what do you mean by coyote time? What is that? Oh, is that when you kind of fall from a ledge and then you have a little bit of time to jump? Is that what you mean? Is that what that means? Because I don't have that, actually. Are you also building Metroidvania? Nice. Yeah. I feel like the controls are like one of the most important things in a Metroidvania. I mean, I guess any game. But I think the controls need to be very, very snappy and feel nice. What kind of Metroidvania are you making? And what are you making it in? Okay, so I still don't understand why the combo attack doesn't activate here. Yeah, control should feel very responsible. Yes, I agree. Nest structs. How deep are your nested structs? Or before it becomes uncomfortable to read write code? Well, I can show you here an example. I think it's like personal, taste. But I've tried a little bit of everything. So let's see, where did I have that thing? Attack type somewhere. Actually, create attack. Here we go. This one. Look at this. This is what you could call a nested struct. It's actually not really a nested struct. It's more like this is actually not a nested struct. It's actually just a nested namespace. However, the play component does include a player state, so it's kind of like both. It's like a nested struct and nested namespace. So it's like play component has a state, which is the player state, which has an attack state, which is the player state attack, which has an attack type, which is this one here. And well, this is kind of also the old system. Like I'm moving from this system to another system that I'm having here. But I would say that it does not feel nice to type this out. Is what I'm gonna say with that. But that's kind of, I guess that's maybe a different. I think it just depends on your use case. Like you should treat every case for what you need at that moment. I think it's important to, like, if you already know how you want the architecture to be, then you know. But if you don't, then I think the best way is to kind of just organically make it grow, and then if you start to see patterns, then you can start to implement those. If you recognize that you're gonna get something out of it. And also, there's always a risk of creating those patterns, though, because you might end up in a situation where you got a bunch of new requirements that does not fit into the pattern, and so you have to kind of either change everything or make something entirely new or something like that. So yeah, it just depends on what feels right. You're just a solo dev, work to finish writing game, script, and story, and working on animations. Okay, cool. Awesome. I hope it goes well for you. So what? So is it like? Is it set in like sci-fi or fantasy, or what kind of setting do you have? And are you making it in like Godot or like Unity or something, or game? What's it called? Game devs. Wait. What's it called? Game Dev Studio? I don't remember it. I used it a long time ago, but I don't remember what it was called. It's mainly themed on vampirism. Oh. Cool. Unity. Okay. Nice. Like in Unity, are you using like are there like a lot of plugins you can use for that, or like how hard is it to implement it in Unity, would you say? Like for like 2D platforming games. Let's see. Cat's going crazy, so my concentration is broken a little bit. But what were we doing here? Yeah, I'm still not sure why the combo attack is not working properly with charge, but I think that charge, I'm gonna wait with charge, because charge is like, I need to rework that a little bit. So we basically got combo attack in. Are you actively avoiding threading related features of the language, or do you not need it at all so far? Well, I'm not actively avoiding it. It's more like if I see somewhere where it's like could improve things, then it would be good to use. But I don't really write, like, for now I don't really have any places where it's like, well, it would be good here. It's not like I'm okay, it's more like this. I'm trying first to solve the issues or the problems that arise, and the way I solve them is like, if something needs multi-threading, it's more of like an optimization issue and not really a problem solving issue. So I'm trying to solve, that's how I see it anyway, I might be wrong, but I'm trying to solve the problem first, and if there is a thing arising that is like would be improved by multi-threading, then I could look at it, which I already have done, by the way, in the collision detection system. I use multi-threading for the quad tree collision. So I do have multi-threading, but it's like it's not really a common tool that I'm using. It's only for optimization, and that is very seldom that I actually need to do that. So I think Unity is best for 2D metroidvanias, and also Hollow Knight and Silksong were made in Unity too. Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Because and the reason why I don't like to think about multi-threading that much right now in like the update code is because things need to happen in like a certain order. It's very important that things happen in a certain order so that you can make sense of that. If things doesn't require order, then you know it could potentially be multi-threaded, but you know, if we don't need the performance, then it doesn't really matter. And I don't want to spend time on trying to make something multi-threaded if we don't get anything like out of it. That's how I see it anyway. But yeah, I'm not opposed to having multi-threading. As I said, I already use it in the collision detection system. Why do you ask, by the way, Arset Sammy? Okay. Okay, so we've done the combo attack. We just need to make it work. Well, we just need to make the charge work as well. But I will leave that for now because that's not really like super important right now. Where from? I'm from Sweden. Where are you from? Okay. Now what? So we've got I think we got most of the basic stuff in. We have also, I forgot about some things in the other thing. So there is so here's the old system where everything is like in one function basically. And we have activation, we already have. We have enter, that's right. We don't have this. So we have enter. Okay. Yeah, that should probably happen in idle. Actually, I'm gonna add this to action. Enter door behavior. Oh, India. Right. I get a lot of Indians on here because of the timing of my stream. Why? Because I assume games are mostly multiplayer. Wait, multiplayer? Do you mean multi-threaded? But yeah, yeah, I mean, the thing about multi-threading is that multi-threading is like, it does give you a lot of power potentially to like optimize things. But for one thing is like, if you don't need it, then it's just extra architecture for nothing. Extra work for nothing. But then it's also like you have to recognize where you can get something out of actually having something multi-threaded. Because you can't just put like, you can't just throw multi-threading on and have it like improve things automatically. Like, you have to kind of understand like, okay, here I can have multi-threading here because the order of operations does not matter. We're just trying to get to some kind of end result. For example, in the collision detection system, I'm checking basically everything is colliding us against everything else. Not really, I'm using like a quad tree, but you know, essentially there's a bunch of parallel computations that can be made in like, they don't depend on the result of the previous calculation. You know, you just want to do a bunch of calculations at once and then look at the result basically. That is a perfect, you know, place for multi-threading. But when you have things that depend on like a certain order, then multi-threading doesn't really help you. It helps a lot with those kinds of optimizations, and that's like where the optimizations are basically needed. It's in the not in like the logic section, but in the in like the physics section and the like, yeah, collision detection section and stuff like that. Indian people are fond of game development. Yeah, I mean, I noticed there's a lot of Indians here, as I said. Yeah, I think it's mostly because of the timing of my stream here. It's kind of niche also, like Zig is not really super popular. All right. Now what's interesting here is like we have a mutable variable here. It doesn't actually need to be mutable, because you could do a constant here and then have this as a break label, and here, whoops, met requirements could be resulting into false, and then we have, hang on, we probably, wait, yeah, false there. Actually, const, yeah, met requirements. We can do this. We can do a block here actually. That's probably better. And then if we get down here, that means we should use the default value. So here's gonna be true. Now, okay, and there we go. Now we have a constant instead, which is better in my opinion. Because we don't really need to change it after this. This is essentially just initializing the thing. It could also just be a function that we could break this out into a function that's probably, you know, a little bit more readable. But you know, yeah. I just wanted to show that if you have that kind of setup, you can make it into a constant if that's more important to you. But you can also do this, like if you put this in a function where it's like meets requirements, and now instead of break with your return, it was kind of making like a function without having a function. And then we have the lock. Which, actually, I'm not sure what the type of the, it's a optional lock. And then we need that. Okay. And now instead of doing all this, we can just say meets requirements. Actually, we could just do this. There we go. It's kind of hard to manage everything because I also gave my engineering entrance exam yesterday. Oh. In computer science or what? Can you tell me, or like mechanical engineering? Can you tell me how they add particle system that applies to every scene? In Unity? Like, because I'm not that well versed in any game studio, but yeah, so I can't really answer that, sorry. Okay, so here there's that. Now we also need to check if we actually would want to enter the door. So we need input state, and we need to look at enter. And I mean, essentially, if enter input is not on, we can just return here. And returns true if entered door. We can also do this. Get rid of some nesting there. Yeah, computer science. Okay, cool. Yeah, I also went computer science, but that was 15 years ago. So there's been changes. Are you using AI in school, by the way? Oh, yeah, of course. We have to call the function as well. If enter door behavior, then return I mean, I guess we have another event. And now we should get a bunch of errors here. No? Well, it should. I'm not sure what's going on with LSP. It's like sometimes it decides to work, sometimes it doesn't. So essentially, if we enter the door, that's gonna change the whole scene. So we don't really do anything with the player. We just, yeah. I mean, we might want to go back to idle, maybe. We're already in idle here, so. Yeah, you have your whole life ahead of you, as you probably heard like a million times, but yeah. Savor it while you can. That's amazing. Like, I wish I got more into game development while in your age, because I've always been interested in games and game development. But I never did that too much. But yeah, I was learning. I mean, my passion was more like programming. As I found out, like programming was really, really fun. But it was really hard to make games at that point in time, and I was alone. Anyway, now I'm trying to do it, and it's fun. And I get to talk with you guys to discuss different things. So it's awesome when you come along here and you're asking things about Coyote, time, and stuff that I've never really heard about. Because that's the kind of thing that I wanna see and talk about here, and programming. So that's awesome. It's awesome that you are also making like a metroidvania here. Is it? Yeah, you're in your learning phase. Yeah. But it's also so it's gonna be kind of the same like or the same. I mean, same like a 2D platformer, side-scrolling metroidvania, right? Or is it gonna be something else? That's interesting also, like a metroidvania, like does it have to be a real-time game like a platformer game to be a metroidvania? I don't know. It feels like there's something in metroidvania that makes it that you have to kind of be, it has to be a platformer almost. Otherwise it's like it's gonna be some other genre or something. I don't know. Genres are tricky. State machine action 51. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Okay, let's do that. That's fine. It doesn't need to be a pointer though. This is where, you know, I wish you could maybe dereference, like if it doesn't have a lock, we have met the requirements, I think. Actually, this is more, okay, I love to do this. See, this is what you can do in Zig. However, if you don't want to nest things, you can also do lock equals, and you can shortcut this as well. Short circuit. It's equal to maybe lock, but if maybe lock is null, we have an or else. We can return true because that's what we're doing here, down here in the normal situation. And now we can get rid of this if. And there you go. Now we have we can access lock now in this scope here, and we return if we haven't met the requirements, we show a notification and return false. Otherwise, we return true. We can also say if we have met the requirements, we can just return true, and then we can get rid of this nesting as well. And down here is where we have not met the requirements, so we should just check this and return false. Or I mean create the notification return false. There we go. Got rid of a bunch of nesting there. Cool. So I believe we do call the function now, so we should be able to enter doors. I played most of the metroidvanias because I'm a kind of gamer too. Yeah, same here. Nice. Also in my country, most of the people don't have gaming computer, or they just have normal laptops, so they can mostly run side-scroll games in their system, ultimately making metroidvanias the most profitable. Huh. I see. Oh, we got a crash. Okay. Interesting. Hang on. Action 47. Oh. Well, we can do the same thing here. Like if this doesn't exist, then we return false. Strange. It should have existed, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, so I assume then you've played like Hollow Knight, for example. I don't remember which house actually had doors now. I think one of these had an inside. Maybe it was over here. No? Okay, so then it probably doesn't work. I'm gonna go over here because there's another house over here that has a lock. Okay, that's kind of strange. The attack actually forces you to continue the jump. Huh. Kind of like a strange effect. Yeah, I think that the attack should not stun you. Like, it should not, like... Yeah, and there's like a bug there. Oh. So I could enter the building even though I didn't have the key. Okay. So the input has to be on. The target has to exist. We get the lock. No, if we do meet the requirements. Okay, if we don't meet the requirements, we return false. Again, Boolean error. I don't know why my brain is having a hard time with those things. What's that flickering there? That's the shield and the sword. Huh. The shield and sword is kind of... I'm not sure if that shows up on stream. But there's like a brief moment where the shield and sword is visible, like right around here. When I transition... Yeah, you can see it on stream probably, maybe. Okay. Anyway. It's nice if we get some music in here as well. There we go. Now it's locked. You can't go in. Okay, I just realized something. I think because these elements here are rendered using UI. You can see kind of the font has like a little. It has like some weird anti-aliasing going on or something. I think what I want to do instead is probably to create a camera for the UI and zoom in the same amount that we've zoomed in normally here. There's also going to be a zoom out, like the mini boss, for example. So it might look weird because the pixel sizes won't be the same. I just realized that. Because when we're in here, we zoom out. Now everything is like tiny here. Well, maybe that's fine. I don't know. Have you made any flying enemy that uses pathfinding? No. I have not. Well, I've made flying enemies, but I haven't made any pathfinding. Basically, they just move toward you right now. So there's like an aggro range, and then they move forward. Except this guy doesn't really work too well because of updated physics a little bit. But they're supposed to be like knockbacked and stuff. These are ghost types, so they can like go through walls. So there was like an easy implementation there. But yeah, those are the only flying enemies that I have. Pathfinding is like, I haven't really thought about that. All monsters right now, they are simply like reacting to their immediate environment, basically. So these guys just move until they detect a ledge and then or a block, and then they change direction. So there's no pathfinding. It's like I have this rudimentary system. Like I have this mini boss test here. This boss is like, how I'm thinking this is because this arena is very statically created here. So how I'm gonna design this boss is more like detecting, okay, which level are we on, and then it's gonna try to follow you in a certain way depending on, like, let's say it's like teleporting through the ground or something. Yeah, to chase the player, basically, something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure actually, because I didn't actually come that far. Right now, the abilities that this boss has doesn't really require pathfinding, but that's an interesting thought there. The pathfinding for trying to find the best way to the player, basically. I do actually have not really pathfinding, but where are those enemies? I'm not sure if I actually have those more. Did I remove those? Yeah, I think I removed those. But I do have some that kind of burrow into the ground and then they teleport close to where the player is. So they're trying to find like a ground space that is close to the player. But that is not really pathfinding either. So what metroidvania have you played and which was your personal favorite? I mean, I've played a lot. I had Super Metroid when it came out on Super Nintendo. And I mean, yeah, I played the original Metroid, Metroid 2, Super Metroid, basically almost all the Metroid games except for the Prime games. Like Prime 1 I completed, but not Prime 2 or 3. I played Hollow Knight, Silk Song. I played a bunch of random Metroidvanias, like, indie games. What else? I mean, Symphony of the Night we also had when it came out to PlayStation. Yeah, a bunch of Castlevania games. I think Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance or something like that. Bloodstained, I think it was called on. Yeah, modern Metroidvania thing. There's probably tons more. I've not played Animal Well, but I do want to play that at some point. There's also a cool game called Infernax, which I'm not sure if you can call it a Metroidvania in the classic sense. It's more like you can it's more like I would see it as you can replay. It has a lot of replayability, but it does have elements of Metroidvania in it. It's not a super huge Metroidvania game, but it's really nice. It's like a throwback to like Castlevania 2 mixed with a bunch of other games like Zelda 2 and yeah. But the graphic style reminds me most of like older Castlevania games, which is really nice. I'm fond of Silk Song, especially recently did a speedrun of 4.6 hours. Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, I've just beat the entire game. Actually, how many hours did that take me? Well, I say entire game, but you know, you never know. But Silk Song. Oh shit, that was on my Switch. I don't have it here. I think I had like 50, 60 hours on it. And I beat the. I think I beat the last boss. It's like you die. You spoiler alert, but you dive into the core of the planet or something, and then you meet the girl there. Lance? No? What was it? What were... yeah, I don't remember what the name was of the boss, but... Or Luby, or... I don't remember. 260 hours, yeah. Good amount of hours for Metroidvania. It's like I kind of like that about Hollow Knight. It's like you kind of know now that. Like I was afraid when you reached a certain point and you felt like, okay, now I'm close to the end of the game, but then it's like, no, there's more. You always had that feeling like, oh, there's more, there's more, there's more. Lost Lace. Oh, Lace. That's right, Lace. Right. That was the name. I also don't like to watch trailers or know anything about the game. Like if it's a game that I know will be good, I like to keep myself 100% spoiler free. To get pleasantly surprised. Okay. So we can enter doors. Good. Now, what else do we want to have here? And go back here. So we have this now. Good. Lunch is not really something we have, so I'm gonna ignore that. And this goes back to that. Use item. That's right. Use item. Essentially, it's just gonna be this. Very, very simple. Do I want to add this to action? Probably just add it here. Use item behavior. Should make... No. I was gonna say I should make a... Maybe like a toggle. You toggle the casing of a word or something, of an identifier. Yeah. Select identifier and then like toggle the casing. That could actually be useful to... I mean, it's useful now, I say, but then I realize, hey, this is kind of a niche use case, so it's not always... probably very seldom useful, but it would be cool to have. I was just about to ask you to react on an upcoming Metroidvania called Crow Sworn. I mean, if I don't know anything about it, I could look it up to see if I get like an initial interest in it. Crow Sworn. Okay, I've seen this. Hang on. Yeah, I've seen this. That's like, I don't know, it was maybe a year ago, or it was yeah, and my initial reaction was, wow, this looks a lot like another game that I know and love, like Hollow Knight. But cool. But I guess it's a little bit different. But I mean, yeah, the graphics is like extremely similar. I guess the only the difference is the characters. The characters are probably, or like the characters look a little bit more detailed in this than in Hollow Knight. Like in Hollow Knight, you have you don't have shades or anything on the characters. It's like just, but the environments look really nice. See, this is super akin to Hollow Knight here, but the characters are a little bit different, so they are more detailed here. Yeah, I mean, I would be interested in playing this for sure. Let's see, where were we? Yeah. I've actually never played Bloodborne. Is that like Dark Souls? Because I've heard people talk really good about that game. But I'm not really a Dark Souls person. I mean, I've tried it, but it's like, I don't know, it's too hard for me. Or I don't have the patience, I guess. Or maybe maybe it's the reaction time. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's more the patience. I don't have the patience for those kinds of games. It's a skill issue. Let's say that. Use item. Yeah. It's made by Dark Souls developers. Yeah, okay. But is it is it like Dark Souls, or is it more like, something else? Even though it's made by them, like it could be like a spin-off. I guess is what I'm trying to say. They only released it on PlayStation 5? What? Must have gotten some exclusive offer there. A PlayStation 4. Well, I guess maybe it's on PlayStation 5 as well. Action role-play game, right. Yeah, it would be cool to test, although I don't actually have a PlayStation right now. What am I thinking about? Yeah, use item behavior. If use item is on, should we then return? If this is not on, we return false. I guess we don't really care if we use an item or not, but so we'll just do that. It doesn't really matter. Like use item is doing some kind of effect at some point. Or, yeah. Depending on the item, but it doesn't actually change the state or anything. Not right now, anyway. I mean, we might get like items that you throw or something like that. Maybe that will actually play some animation on the player or something. I don't know. But for now, we only have like one item, which is a consumable health potion. It has its own completely different story, but the core mechanics are like Dark Souls. Right. I wonder when I'll be able to play Bloodborne. Oh yeah, I played Hyper Light Drifter is kind of old now, but it's like an indie game, I would say, that is kind. I mean, it reminds me of. It's kind of like has elements of Dark Souls like gameplay. Like you have the dodge roll and, but it's more like a top-down game, 2D game. But yeah, that game is really cool. Where you kind of, I think it's like you aim with the mouse or something like that. I forget. Or it's like a double stick action going on. Anyway. Hello, Solacorio, what's up? Hello, hello. But yeah, that was also like very like skill based, like yeah. And I like those kinds of games. But Dark Souls is more like I don't know what it is about Dark Souls. It's just that your character feels so clunky and I don't know. I like to have like a snappy controls. I don't know. I feel like I'm alone in this. In thinking like this, but there's Dark Souls is so popular, but yeah. Okay, thank you. See you later. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah, so we have the use item behavior, but we don't have any items. But I'm gonna remove the save file, and we're gonna go over to the player, and we're gonna go over to the inventory. And we are going to wait, so we have health potions. Or we should have. So Okay, so when we go into the menu, why can't I go to somewhere? Handle switch in game menu. Okay, in game menu switch. That's left trigger 1. Page up, page down. Okay. I did not remember those bindings. Wait, what's the issue now? No, return false. What are you up to, Sulakorim? Right, so if we go to the menu, which I don't remember, was it? I don't remember the button. Oh. So, oh yeah, F, and then page up, page down. Here we go. So we'll select that. There we go. It's selected. And then go out. And now we can use it with the use item. Which is R. Except we have full HP, so I think that's why we can't use it. So let's go and get damaged. There we go. R, and there we go. Awesome. That all seems to work. Okay, so use item is done. Cool. Now, was there anything else? Missed. That's right. Sure, let's just put it here. Why not? Missed behavior. Okay. Have the same pattern here. Returns true if missed form was entered or activated. And if we cannot activate, return false. Otherwise, we activate, return true. and the player is an entity where we have the entity here. Okay. Now we just need to call this function somewhere up here. And we don't really care about if we enter mist form or not. I don't think. Actually, we activate the mist form, we add vanish. I believe we previously, I think we kind of get stunned a little bit when we do this, but let's see what happens now. I don't remember how to actually activate it. There we go. Right. Okay. There we go. I guess that's fine for now. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to move a bunch of these states into the players, the other place. Maybe it's a little bit fragmented right now, but okay. I think that's all for the player, kind of like everything except for like dialogue and, well, menu does work. So the only thing left is the dialogue, like enter dialogue, except I think we already have that working. That should already work. Yeah, it says that we can move around while talking, which we shouldn't be able to do, which I believe is handled like here is like, okay, well, if you have a menu, if you're in dialogue, we don't do these. So that could potentially be a player state, but actually it probably shouldn't be a player state. It should be more like, well, actually, because the menu should simply pause. We should like continue our state as we go back. But dialogue could be a state though. They could go back to idle. Control is already a state, so we don't need to worry about that. Dialogue could be a state. That's part of the activate thing. It could be like, this could be a normal behavior maybe thing, or a common behavior. I'm gonna try something like, if we're in the menu, we shouldn't actually be able to move around. No, we're not. It's because this actually pauses time. Like talking to someone actually doesn't do that. So menu is already, it already works. This though, the thing about this is it needs to happen like in every state. And here's like if we're stunned. Maybe it should just be like a common behavior. We're in a dialogue, so What other languages made you comfortable to write in before you picked up Zig? What other languages made you comfortable to write in before you picked up Zig? I'm not sure if I understand the question, but I'm gonna answer like what programming language I have learned before. So I started out with C++, but that I haven't touched C++ in a long time. So I wouldn't say I'm proficient in that, but that's what I started with. So the manual memory management from that has been with me since then. I have the most programming language I have the most experience in is TypeScript, I would say. But I have done, Haskell, C#, Java, Python. Like I have a lot of because a lot of the programming languages they share like a lot of features or shared. So it's like if you learn one pretty well, you will know a lot of things in other languages as well. But then there's like some flavors and stuff. But for work, for professional, I have like TypeScript and C#. I would say is like the ones that I have most experience with. But yeah, I feel like Zig is it's kind of similar to C, but a modern language. Because a lot of the underlying, things that you have to think about is kind of the same as in C. Like structs, the stack and the heap, and allocating memory, freeing memory, stuff like that. Pointers, of course. Asking the vibe coder about how his code works, and it's expect a reply in 3 business hours type situation. Yeah. That's why I think it's important when you use AI tools, especially in work, but probably, it's less important. It's more important if you work together with other people and you need to actually, know how the code works. Then I think that you should always like keep yourself up to date in the code, even though you're using the AI tools very efficiently and all that, but you should still be somewhat familiar with what's happening in the code, I feel like. Because otherwise it's going to be like, let's say you've spent, I don't know, a couple of weeks on just vibe coding, and then suddenly you actually need to, AI can't actually fix something and you have to go in and fix it yourself. Then you're hit with a wall, because you have to, basically it's like going into an unknown project that someone else made, and you have to figure everything out from scratch. And that takes a lot of energy, a lot of time, and yeah, I think it's better to take that little time to just familiarize with yourself with the code. Each update the AI does, you can kind of go in and, okay, well, now I'm like up to date again with the code. So I think then you have like, and then, yeah, because then you get questions like that, you can have your answer immediately. I don't know what the best way of doing that is, but I feel like that's probably the more responsible way of doing things. Anyway. Yeah, you read everything the LLM produces. Yes, I mean I think that's good. It does. It's like it's way less work for you. It's like it's not, because it feels like, okay, well, people want to use it as like this magical fairy that's just gonna fix everything and you don't have to do anything. But you still have to put in work and you still have to know how the system works, because sometimes the AI can't fix your problems and you have to do it yourself. Or you get things like that. Someone else needs to do something and you have to know how it works because you're responsible. Zig taking some heat for Bun's recent migration. Yeah. Absolute control versus compiler guarantees. I haven't actually looked into that. Like, I heard about it last stream. Someone mentioned it. I forgot who it was. But yeah. I would be really interested in seeing like what are the reasons, because I heard that the Bun developer had a lot of issues with Zig, or maybe not a lot, I don't know, but enough to actually migrate to another language, which is a huge task. Although they did use AI, as I heard it, to pass like 99% of the tests or something like that. So they just vibe coded Bun into Rust from Zig and got like 98%. So I would be interested to know like what were the issues that they had with Zig, because that's interesting to me because I'm using Zig. It's 100% a skill issue. What is? Okay. Let's get the play components. And if we're in a dialogue, we will return, I guess, dialogue. Right, so now we have a bunch of places we need to fix this here. Essentially, the usual thing would just be to return and then not do anything, I would say. There might be an issue, like if let's say we're walking, we should probably stop. We should probably just go to idle, actually. Same thing here, attack. That's great. Bun team members mentioned a lot of segmentation, critical stability issues. He permanently has memory leaks. Okay. Yeah, I would have to read up on the details and see what's happening there. Climb. You're not gonna be able to do that while climbing, but focus. Yeah, sure. Control. Actually, control we probably just return. Okay. So now when we are in a dialogue, we shouldn't be able to do stuff. All right. Cool. Now there's a tiny bug there where if you cancel, this cancel button is the same as the jump button. So you cancel the dialogue and then the jump actually happens because we look at the jump state here. However, yeah, because is jump down is just looking for, well, okay, and can jump. Yeah, I would have to think about that a little. He doesn't really say too much other than that he has issues with Zig allowing him to write memory unsafe code. I don't think he ever stated if it's a shortcoming of the language or himself, but I personally assume he's the latter. I mean, you know, if you have a language that allows you to do more, I mean, you could just try to avoid doing it, I guess. Because that's how I try to approach things with Zig, or you know, if you're working with C or something like that, like you have to deal with, you know, null pointers and invalid memory, you know, invalid pointers, stuff like that. Like, so yeah, Zig does allow you to write, like there's a lot of ways to write unsafe code in Zig, but then you just try to have, you know, patterns in place to not to try and like mitigate that. But I would have to know like specifically what the issues were, because it still feels like, yeah, it would be nice to see like an actual example to see, because it sounded more like, okay, well, there's a problem with the actual Zig compiler that compiles something wrongly, like it compiles it wrong so that you get some bugs that you shouldn't get if it was compiled correctly or something like that. I don't know. What is Zig? What Zig is not good for? I mean, Zig is good for your mental health. No, but Zig is Zig is like, so okay. I would say it more like this. There's different categories of programming languages, or different programming languages have different like you know, pros and cons, and depending on their features, like what you can do with them. And you know, for example, you know, Go, for example, is a very simple language. It has a garbage collector, so you don't have to worry about things like memory management. You don't have to like worry about allocating or freeing stuff. It happens automatically. While in Zig or C or C++ or Rust, you do have to allocate things manually and keep track of like all the memory stuff yourself. And that is like, it comes with, you know, a payoff where you can optimize things a lot more, but also but then you also have to actually have the bookkeeping and the actual you know, you have to implement it yourself. So that's the con for those kinds of languages. Where I would say Zig is shining is like if you're used to something like C or even C++ maybe, or you know, or maybe even Rust, and you want a similar language with similar features, but you want like a breath of fresh air, where Zig is like allows you to do things less strictly than Rust. but also compared to C, it has a lot more safety as well, and it has more modern features when it comes to things like macros, and where Zig has comp time stuff instead, and just a lot of like convenient things like the tooling and the features of the language. It just makes it much more convenient to work with, I would say. Although C, some argue that C, the simplicity of C makes it very good, but I've never actually done any projects in C, so I can't really speak to that. But so it's not as easy as saying like Zig is good for everything, because it's actually not good for everything, I would say. Like if you just want to make like a prototype that you want to have out super fast, well, nowadays you would probably use AI. But let's say we didn't have AI, you could use something, a scripting language instead. Hence last week I was thinking he was probably just vibe coding and leaking all over the place. Yeah. I mean, it really seems like they have adopted vibe coding since they vibe coded the whole Rust implementation of Bun. I mean, yeah. Rust has unsafe, which you can do a lot of what you would do in Zig, not strictly as you said, so I just think it's an ecosystem style question. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but then there's also like, I think that most people who are programming Rust probably don't want to use that, just because they do want to do things the right, quote unquote, right way. I don't know. Yeah, sure. You could probably, but I haven't really tried Rust to a large extent. I have tried it like a very, very tiny amount, so I can't really say much about the comparison between Rust and Zig. You try to avoid unsafe unless you strictly have to. Yeah. So. I mean, and that's fine, there's probably features in Rust that would be cool to have in Zig, but again, Zig is not really, it's not complete yet, so we'll see what happens with Zig. I just know that for now, I really enjoy it, and I mean, I do use the comp time stuff where I see it being useful. Which, well, I know that Rust has the macro stuff, which is similar to Haskell's templating, where you basically like generate code, as far as I can understand, so that you can have, you can do more advanced things there, but like meta programming, but or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, and in Zig you have comp time, which also kind of generates code, but it's more like in the language. You don't generate, based on like strings or something like that. You generate, like you use actual code that will then be generated in like repeated or removed or something like that. So, yeah, it's a little bit different. I think I really enjoy using Zig's comp time. It's like you have to kind of understand the rules a little bit to understand what you can do and what you can't do. But the compiler will tell you, so it's not like it's impossible. But it's like once you've learned it, you can do a lot of cool like optimization, like stuff like automating, generating code and stuff like that based on types, like going through all the fields of a type to do something, or a bunch of cool stuff like that. I really enjoy that. It reminds me a lot about TypeScript as well, because TypeScript also you can do a bunch of stuff with the types to get a specific type where you can select, you can get like a field name out of an object and convert an object from, you know, a record from a string to something else. But anyway, Zig has the support of Mitchell Hashimoto, so it will probably continue to be developed. Oh, I'm not familiar. Is that like a rich investor or something? And also there was like this Rust drama and stuff, which I have no idea what that's about, but that just makes me not want to, like, it just makes me feel like, okay, well, is Rust on life support or what is happening with Rust? You know, or potentially in the future, I don't know. Rust drama, I don't even know about it. Yeah, there was some drama with but this was like years ago, but it was some drama with the foundation or something like that. I think they were like suing people who, I don't know, used the logo or something like, I don't know. They were very touchy or something like that. I don't know the details, but there was some like inner, like inside conflicts or something like that. I actually don't know the details there. You could look it up, probably. Okay. Now, what are we doing here? Yeah, so I think that we have basically all the things now in the new system. There are still a little bit more like fragmentations, but we got the basic like structure. We need to fix the charge attack behavior to be not a state like this, but a parallel state, you could say, and get that into the common behavior, maybe. I'm not sure, but yeah, that has to be fixed as well. Actually, maybe not common behavior. I'm not sure actually if it's gonna be its own function, something maybe. I see. Yeah, I'm not involved with the community at all. Okay. Well, as long as you can use the program language, it's fine. As long as the program language is like, you know, continue to be developed. Because I think that as soon as the language is like stopped being developed, it's gonna eventually die out. Mitchell Hashimoto is basically a developer rich guy just to handle that. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Like Zig has, I really wish that Zig would, you know, continue, and well, I hope that they will continue for a long time, because it's a really cool language. And yeah. All right. So what do we want to do more here? I think that's gonna be it for this time. Actually, I need to eat and do some other stuff. So, but we've got like most of the stuff in place now for the player. We got all the basic states in. We have some smaller to do things left, but actually, I want to write this down here. So I want to have a to do here. Move appropriate stuff into player state. All right. I have to specify here player state machine, because there's this thing as well, which is not actually used anymore. So this can actually be removed. Okay. And the idea is maybe to have these also as a state machine, but we'll see. They are very we have very specialized systems for this one, so maybe not. Okay, which do work really well. So anyway, yeah, but that's gonna be it for this time. Thank you very much for joining me here, and I hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you later. Maybe I'll actually, we have a couple of people in here, maybe we'll raid here something. Let's see. I usually try to pick like people who have basically no viewers, because that's where I feel that I am basically. Here we go. We'll take this one. All right, see you later.